Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 116 of the Rockies Now podcast. I am one of your co-hosts, Tom. I am joined by my fellow co-host, Sarah. Sarah, how you been doing lately?
Doing good. It's been good. Everything's good. I'm excited.
Well,
We're going to a game tomorrow night.
that should be a fun one. Who's pitching? Can you remind me who's the pitching matchup tomorrow?
Last time I looked, it was to be determined. Let's see if they've got it up yet.
Mm,
Grant Holmes and Jose Quintana.
Good old Q going to the mound. I like it. Well, I guess we're a little bit more optimistic than we would have been in past years because at this very moment as we speak, the Rockies are currently sitting in fourth place with a 14-18 record. Um, I don't know about you, but on an off day like today, it is definitely exciting considering we are 6.5 games out of first, and we're currently 3 games behind the third place Diamondbacks. And again, the title of the episode is going to be the theme here. Can the Rockies keep that up? We'll get into more in depth on that, but it is exciting. What do you think?
I think there's so much that is positive. I mean, you're still seeing a few struggles like with this series with the Reds. The Tuesday night game and today's day game, letting too much opportunity go, letting way too much opportunity go. You can't have um, you can't have bases loaded, one out, and not bring in a single run like that. That is not going to work. That's not going to win you a game. Even if you're putting the ball, which there's been a lot of putting the ball in play, that has looked a lot better than what we've seen. Um, you've got Mickey and Troy and Hunter still just and Edward Julian just absolutely amazing at the plate. Um, Tyler Freeman with a home run today. That was super exciting to see. Um, I really think that there's so many good things, and you're gonna see more of that be just kind of start stacking on top of each other. Warren says it all the time. We're just going to keep stacking these things on top of each other, and you're seeing that more and more.
No, I would agree. And plus, again, we'll get into more of that as we come through here. But the point is, at this point, let's get into the first topic. Let's just dive right into it because on one of your points you made, I want to talk about it. But we swept the Mets, and you and I talked about it in the pre-show meeting. We've been talking about this for days. I've been harking on it. The Mets situation is a prime example that you cannot just throw money at a team and buy a championship because
Yeah.
because we talked about in the pre-show meeting, Steve Cohen officially bought the New York Mets back in November of 2020. He promised, or I don't know if the right word is promise, but or guaranteed, but I would say his goal, he said, was to win a championship within 5 years.
Didn't happen.
I mean, at 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, correct. So this is his 6th year owning the team. I just got to make sure the math is correct. This is his 6th year. It didn't happen. And given the fact of what his payroll, again, as I said in the pre-show meeting, I knew the Juan Soto contract was going to be an overpay. Lindor is just, I don't know what's up with the dude.
He's hurt.
True, but even all that things considered, it's just like, I mean, you threw money at Bo Bichette. The trade for Brendan Nimmo ain't working out too great either. And as I said at the beginning of the season, I just don't think they have the pitching. People were critical of me for where I ranked them in our preseason rankings for the division. I just don't think they had the pitching, and it's starting to show glaringly so. And Carlos Mendoza, he has not been scapegoatedly fired yet. So, I mean, Cora, then Thompson, and Mendoza's day could come anytime. But to piggyback off of what you were saying, even though we won game 1 of the series, a big thing I want to point out is we were 2 for 12 with runners in scoring position, and we left 11 runners on base.
Yeah.
Again, it's the thing with young teams. We won 4-3, but it's with young teams. You can't waste opportunities, whether it's a good or a bad team. So, again, it's a win to start the series, but I don't know. Did you have any thoughts from that game specifically? We didn't have a lot of extra base hits. We only had one double in the game by Jake McCarthy, but we got the job done because, again, Michael Lorenzen, 7 innings with only giving up 1 earned run. 2 thumbs up on that one.
Mm-hmm. Lorenzen, I have not been. I've had moments where I've been impressed with him. I haven't just been thrilled. He's gotten the job done, but it's been very stressful to watch him get the job done. Um, but I mean, like I said earlier, you can't leave that many. You can't. You have to hit with runners in scoring position, or you're going to lose games. That was a game that, on paper, you would have never thought the Rockies were going to lose that game. Just looking at the stats, and looking at the hits, looking at everything that was happening, there's no way they should have lost that game, but they couldn't bring anybody in once they got into scoring position, and that's not going to work. Um, but to kind of touch on the Mets series, I told Chris last week, I was like, I feel a sweep coming. I was like, they're at least winning the series, but I feel a sweep coming, and it was nice and validating once we locked up that third win, and I had that right, so it felt good. Um, take advantage of it. They're cold right now, take advantage of it, and they did. And against the Reds, they came in, the Reds are red hot, and they really kind of kept them under control too. I mean, that first game got a little out of hand. Game 2, fantastic work, everything you wanted to see from the Rockies. And then game 3, they at least kept them under control.
Right. Another thing coming from game two of the Mets series, our offense went 2 for 8 with runners in scoring position, left 4 runners on base. A little bit of improvement in terms of opportunities to score runs, but Quintana, again, 5 1/3 innings, only 1 run. He gave us a chance. And of course, my guy Vodnik nailing down the save for game 2. But the big story, to me, the biggest story of this series, and I don't know if you can agree to disagree, anybody can agree or disagree with me on it. Game 3, I think, was the big one, because not only did Hunter Goodman provide the power with his 7th home run of the season, again, we talked about this in the pre-show meeting, Chase Dollander, 7 shutout innings, 7. And again, this is a guy, I mean, you and I can remember or anybody listening to our voices or watching us now live on YouTube or on X, so thank you for joining us if you are. We remember all this stuff last year, thinking this guy is a bust. Because remember, back when he was drafted, he was considered by people, including Dan O'Dowd, as the best arm in the draft. And after last season, people were already giving up on him after 98 innings pitched in the big leagues. But what need I say now? I mean, 7 shutout innings. Halverson had a hold. Agnos locked down the save. Hunter Goodman provided the power. And it was a sweep. And, like you point, when you got someone knocked down, just keep kicking them while they're, in a sense, I don't want to be mean here, but, why not kick them while they're down? Or just push them off the cliff when they're sitting by the edge. So I don't feel bad for the Mets in terms of what they've tried to do with buying a championship. I do feel bad for Mets fans, but I'm sorry, you got to take advantage of a team that's dwindling.
I would just like to say on the record that I have never once ever doubted that Chase Dollander was going to turn into exactly what he is doing this season. After watching him at Tennessee, I knew. And last year it was like, well, he's got to figure out Coors Field, and he has. I saw something the other day that was like, can Chase Dollander defeat Coors Field? He pitched an amazing game when we were there for the second home game of the season against the Phillies. He was outstanding. I was sitting there watching all the stats come across the boards. His velocity, his vertical break, everything was just, it was exactly what you wanted to see. And every single outing, he has just gotten more and more dominant. And I've been sitting over here like, this is my guy. This has been my guy for years. I knew this is what we were going to see. So it feels so good to see him figure this out and to be pitching the way he is.
It's gratifying.
It really is. It's so great.
Well, I mean, why would it? I mean, again, this is not only from the program that he came from, the University of Tennessee, but just given how his rise in the minor leagues was. Again, this is a Rocky strategy. We have trouble luring free agent pitching. And I think it's a testament to the new, whether it's training methods, evaluation of talent, or changes in strategy when it comes to developing players. Because again, we all know that's not linear. Again, something's clicked for the guy. And again, for the guys who figure it out, some do it at 19 like Bryce Harper did, or some do it at 28 like Josh Hamilton.
Mm-hmm.
And again, Josh Hamilton is an outlier because that was also a personal problem, but we don't need to get into that. The point is, Some people are late bloomers. Some people figure it out early. And, Chase, as you point out, just needed some time.
Well, and the same could be said for the pitcher that now that we know what the matchup is going to be, that the Rockies will be facing tomorrow. Grant Holmes spent, I believe, 10 years in the minor leagues before he got the call up a couple seasons ago with Atlanta, and he just has been a really bright spot in that rotation ever since. So it all just depends on the timing and when you finally get it together and you get that opportunity. And Chase is running with it right now.
Maybe it also could be the new pitching staff. Pitching coach staff.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I don't know what they did to fix him, but they did it. Same with Senzatella. Whatever they did to those two guys, they have fixed them. Senza has been outstanding. It used to be if Senza was going to be starting the game, or even when he was coming in from the bullpen towards the end of last season, it was just like you got this feeling in your stomach and you didn't know if you were going to puke or if you were going to be happy or what was going to happen because you didn't know what you were going to get. And now, as soon as I see him start running in from the bullpen, I'm like, locked in. Let's go. We got this.
It's funny you mentioned Antonio Senzatella there. I'm trying to remember and I'm looking at it here. I can't remember the name of the Instagram page. They do their all week team. Dollander was in the all week, their all week rotation, and Senzatella was in their all week bullpen.
And they should be. Like, it's been great. First couple starts, there wasn't really a lot being said. And now all of a sudden, every time I open Instagram or X, there's something about Chase Dollander. There's something about Antonio Senzatella. And those guys should be getting attention because they're absolutely earning every ounce of attention that they're getting this season. They deserve it 100%.
Yeah, just to give everybody a reasoning behind this, in 18 innings pitched so far for Antonio Senzatella this season, he has a 0.5. That is correct. Let me repeat, a 0.5 ERA.
Only one run allowed, right? Or did he allow one today?
He hit 2 runs, but 1 earned run. So yes, you are correct. And here's the interesting thing: in the 18 innings, he has 18 strikeouts, so he's averaging a strikeout per inning.
There you go.
So and again, this is a guy who's not known to be a big strikeout pitcher. So I just think it's rather coincidental, maybe. I don't know. Mm-hmm. And one more thing to know, he is also in, kind of a contract year because he has a team option for 2027. So he's pitching like he wants to remain in the big leagues.
I think if he keeps this up, I definitely think I see the team picking up that option. If you would have asked me 2 months ago, I would have been like, why? Why would they keep him after this season? There's no reason to. And now I don't see why would you let him go now is what I feel like.
Or again, this is just this again. I know this could come up, and I'm just sorry to bring it up this early. I mean, his trade value could go up because given the fact that he's not only pitching well, he has that option. So if a team wants to pick it up that trades for him, that is an option. I don't know what his market will be like considering he's not a prototypical air quote power arm, but you never know. Mm-hmm. But again, also he has a 1.2 WAR so far into the season. So a relief pitcher with a WAR over 1 is pretty good. Yeah. And we haven't even started May yet. So let me just point that out. But again,
now, Ted has a comment over here that ties back to a video that I reposted earlier this week from the pitching ninja of Chase Dollander overlaid with Jacob deGrom, and it's so cool. It's such an awesome video. Like, you can see it's just really cool to see. You'll have to go anybody that follows me on X, it's there. Super cool video. Go check it out. The pitching ninja Rob is amazing. He's always got really good stuff.
He is a fantastic follow on X. If you don't, if you're a baseball fan, you should follow him immediately. Because not only I think I know the one you're talking about. I think I remember seeing it. It's the overlay where the release point and of course where the pitch flies coincide with each other. It just shows
casually walk away like right together in the overlay. It's so cool.
One of the best ones I think I ever saw him do, or one of the ones he typically does, is he overlays 2 pitchers or the same picture where it compares the fastball to the curveball. I remember this
Mhm.
distinctly for Justin Verlander, how Verlander's release point is identical for his fastball and his curveball, which makes at times can make it so hard to pick up between the two, even though there's a big speed velocity difference. Still, when you have a consistent release point for multiple pitches, you are going to be tough to judge, especially if you do a good job hiding the baseball when you bring it behind your body.
Yeah. I love when he does the videos where he takes a picture and takes their entire pitch mix and overlays it all together, and you just see all the different movement that they're getting. And yeah, if you aren't following Rob, the pitching ninja, go do it right now.
I think he did the same thing. Also, I just remember I think he did the same thing for Dylan Cease between fastball and slider. Because again,
Mhm.
that is another thing. Oh, excuse me. So again, Uncle Ted, thank you for pointing that. And another one I wanted to point out here as well. Let me go back a little bit. This refers to our conversation about the Mets and Stevie Cohen's attempts to try and buy a championship. Yes, that's true. You can't buy chemistry because they're
Mhm.
starting to have reports come out about Juan Soto's personality as a leader is not exactly budding good vibes in the down there in the clubhouse for the Mets. Um, again, he's a great player, but again, there's more to just having the skill sets when it comes to being a high paid player on a roster.
Yeah, and he said himself, and it was something that kind of it put me off a little bit when I heard it. As he was coming back off the injured list, he said somebody asked him if he had talked to any of the teammates during that 12-game skid, and he said
Mm.
no. Like, what do you mean no? Like, you haven't texted anybody? Like, nothing at all? He's like, they were on a road trip. Okay, they were on a road trip. Are you telling me you don't have anybody on the team's phone number? Like, is this how divided you guys are? Like,
Yeah.
that spoke volumes to me about what it's like in the Mets clubhouse.
I this other one that Uncle Ted brings up, he choked out McNeil. That's Jeff McNeil again. For those who don't
Oh,
know who
this
he's
is
talking about,
Lindor,
and
is who he's talking about.
sorry, oh, I'm sorry. So Lindor, I guess, had a fight with Brendan Nimmo and Jeff McNeil. Well, from my here's the thing.
Or was it Soto? I don't remember. I didn't ever hear
Well,
about it.
well, first and foremost, here's the thing. I always go back if I'm on a team, whether I'm the manager or one of the leaders of the team, and we're on that skid, there's going to be a point where I'm going to start throwing things in the clubhouse and flipping tables over. Like if anybody's seen Angels in the Outfield, there's that scene where Danny Glover just flips the buffet table and says, "You don't win like it," or is like screaming, "One more loss." That would be me at some point during a 12-game losing streak. That's going to be me at some point. I am going to flip and throw things. Or here's a recent example when Billy Bean in Moneyball walks in the clubhouse and says, "Why are you having fun when you're losing?" And then the quietness, and that's what losing sounds like. Or I'd be doing something where he takes the Gatorade core and throws it at the wall. That's me during a losing streak like that. Something to wake guys up and say, "Dudes, are you sick of losing? Then do something about it, please."
Hmm.
But again, that's just me. I don't know. Everybody else has their own stuff. But to your point about Juan Soto not talking to his teammates or not having any contact with his teammates, I mean, again, this is just me, but if I'm I guess you say the star of the team and I'm away on an injury rehab or something, and this is going on, I'm calling somebody and saying, "What's going on over there? What are you guys doing?"
Hmm.
But again, that's just me because if I'm the leader or if I'm the guy that's looked to whether it's lead by words or lead by example, I'm calling people out like, what exactly are you guys doing up there that's causing this? Or I try to get to the root issue. Or again, or maybe also what is Carlos Mendoza doing as well? I don't know.
Hmm.
But again, I'm not in the clubhouse. I'm not privy to everything that's going on. But I'm just telling you what I would do because I personally would not like losing, especially at the big league level. And especially also if I'm the owner, I have the second highest payroll in baseball. What's going on here? I mean, I'm calling David Stern saying, "What are you guys doing over there?"
Yeah.
But again, I digress. I guess from what we hear, we're a little bit more fortunate considering we don't have any extremely high priced talent in our clubhouse at the moment, nor do and I guess we have a manager who's who's more on page with his players, I guess you could say. So,
Oh yeah. I mean, that's very, very clear in the Rockies clubhouse that those guys are very, very close knit. You can see it. Everybody's always hanging out with everybody down there. And it's, and that's something that I say all the time is that the clubhouse chemistry is a super huge piece of the puzzle when you're trying to win ball games. Like if that's not clicking, then nothing else is going to fully click into place.
Don't we still have? Do we still have the ping pong table inside the clubhouse at the Rockies
I
clubhouse?
had I didn't see it at Rockies Fest, but that doesn't mean it's not there. It just might not have been out.
Because one thing I remember this from Bud Black's days, particularly when they were on the winning like 18, 19, and not so much 20 because of COVID. But I remember that a lot of like in the behind the scenes like shots of the clubhouse, a lot of guys were playing table tennis. So I guess I wonder. I was just asking.
It might be there. I think they had it out in the had one out in the kids area during Rockies Fest. That might have been the one from the clubhouse.
I always remember because then also now I think back to some clubhouse guys will play. That's one of the ways guys will play for money in a clubhouse. The other one is playing cards on the plane.
Hmm.
Like if you ever anybody watches The Last Dance during the days of Michael Jordan, he of course would have the high rolling table at the back of the plane where it's like him, Scotty, and anybody who wants to spend a lot of money. But again, that's just different dynamic, different sport, different decades. So that's all it is. But Mets fans, seriously, I sympathize. I'm sorry for you guys, but I mean the Yankees aren't doing too much better, if in my opinion. So, but that's just me. Actually, I'm sorry. I forgot. I thought the Rays are still in first place. Now the Yankees are in first place. My apologies. You guys have a 1.5 game lead. But again, if I could pivot real quick, the Red Sox. Just my God. Oh my goodness. What is going on? That's a whole different
I
scenario.
don't
But
know. I can't even begin to
and
figure that out.
I mean, it's three. I mean, you got three teams that are either in last place or second last place. I'm referring to the Phillies, the Mets, and the Red Sox. Teams who I think I predicted to make the playoff. Well, Mets no, the other two Phillies and Red Sox yes. I don't know. Did you predict any of those three to make the playoffs? I can't remember.
I had the Phillies winning the division.
Hmm.
I picked the
Oh,
Brave. I didn't. I figured the Braves were still another year away from being back on top of the division, and I've never been happier to be wrong about anything in my life. I love it. Love and Matt Olson is just out here tearing everybody up. That he's got a 2.0 WAR already.
doesn't he's not currently one of the league leaders in home runs, is he?
He's got 9.
Oh, he's close. I mean, right now it's Murakami and Judge lead with 12, unless Judge hit one today. I didn't see if he hit one today.
Yeah, Matt Olson hit a walk-off last night.
If I can ask you a real quick personal question, we could put this on record. Do you think he'll ever hit 50 home runs again?
This year he might.
Okay.
I didn't really think it was I didn't think it was too much of a fluke. He's got that natural power swing,
Mm.
and he's built to hit a lot of home runs. Like that's just how he's designed. Um, I think I don't know what was happening the last couple seasons, but I could very easily see him 45 this year, if not more. I
I've
would
al-
call that pretty safely at least 45 home runs for Matt Olson.
I would say 40 is a safe floor for him. I've
Yeah,
always
I
found it interesting. I've always found it interesting. And again, if you're watching this on YouTube, you can see what I mean. How he holds the bat out, kind of out a little bit away from his body, and then he brings it back above his
mhm.
shoulder. But again, he's not the only player to do that. I mean, Munetaka Murakami on the south side, he does something similar. So again, it's just whatever gets you to relax your hands on the bat before you swing the bat. It's all good. So
Yeah, he did make and see that's another thing that I've noticed is that his stance is a little bit closer to what it was that 54 home run season. The
mm,
last couple seasons there's been a few very subtle differences in it and if you don't pay a lot of attention to him, you probably wouldn't even notice them because he is still relatively the same hand or he has still been relatively in the same starting hand position. But there were a few changes last year that that I think were throwing that off. And then they got him back into that stance that he had when he hit those 54, and now he's off and running.
Well, it is this. I mean, again, we're only about 30-ish games into the season, so a lot can still change. But it is an interesting start to the season so far with where some teams are at. And apologies if my video is lagging on YouTube. It's just I may have some issues with the internet connection. So I apologize if I'm choppy with my movements on camera. So oh, speaking of which, also happy birthday to Eduardo Julian. Today's his birthday. So again, happy
Hmm.
birthday to you. I just noticed that here on my one of my screens. So quickly right now, so let's pivot over. And now again, after sweeping the Mets, we won the series against the Reds.
No,
Um,
we did not. We
oh,
did
sorry,
not win the
lost.
series
I'm
against the
sorry. I'm
Reds.
sorry. I'm sorry. I had a, again
But we
apologies. I had
did
a,
we did come out of that road trip with a winning record, 4-2. Can't complain
uh,
about that.
my apologies to everybody. I had a bit of a brain fart there. Sarah, thank you for correcting me. Oh goodness gracious. Now, game one of the series, of course, Kyle Freeland grinds through 5 innings, gives up 4 earned runs, and Tanner Gordon, of course, with the final 3 innings of the game, he gives up 3 earned runs. Again, same story with that with game one. They went 1 for 11 with runners in scoring position, left 10 runners on base. I don't. So Freeland and Gordon are not to blame for this loss completely. Again, they weren't. They wasn't great. They were okay, but at the same time, and again, this can be attributed to a young team. You cannot waste opportunities to score runs. You cannot. Again, it was surmountable. The Reds only scored 7 runs. We scored 2. We could have scored a lot more to win this ball game.
Oh yeah.
So again, it's just a mark of a young team. If you want to, you against good, great, or bad teams, it doesn't matter. You can't waste opportunities. So, game one here, that's the story of the game for me. I mean, what are your thoughts on that too?
Glad to have Kyle Freeland back. First inning was a little choppy, but I think there towards those last couple of innings, he really started settling back into a little more of what we were seeing before he went on the IL. I didn't have any complaints about Kyle Freeland as far as his first outing back. Tanner Gordon, I he wasn't bad, but I don't know, and I know this is something that we've talked about on here a lot, is bringing these starting guys up into relief roles. I don't feel like I feel like he's had a couple of good ones, but I feel like he's having trouble making that mindset adjustment because it is a completely different mindset. Um, I, I I don't know. There's something off. There's something that's not. I don't know if which he's a starter. It shouldn't be that they're running him out for too many innings in relief, but I can't figure out exactly what it is that's going on with him because his stuff just hasn't been playing like it was.
Either maybe he's dealing with a nagging injury that he's trying to pitch through. That's one explanation. Or again, being a starter and being a reliever is very different. Your preparations are
Mhm.
different. Your routine is different. As a starter, you're going every 5, maybe a 6 day, depending on off days, rainouts, etc. And with a reliever, you again assume unless you pitch the prior 2 games to that day's game, you're likely not to pitch. You don't pitch. It's extremely rare a guy pitches 3 days in a row.
Mhm.
So unless that's the situation or the manager says, hey, I'm not going to use you today, it's all hands on deck. You better be ready to be called with that phone at any time. Even in the second inning, if the
Mhm.
starter can't make it through 2 innings, you got to be ready to go. So, and not every starter can translate to a bullpen role. Again, that's case in point, especially for young pitchers. But I don't know. Maybe I think it's just either that or it could be just a mental thing. It could be a confidence thing. I mean, who knows?
And I think I don't know. It'll kind of depend on how long they have him up and in this role. What how he could develop with it, but I know some starting pitchers have a very well, a lot of starting pitchers have a very specific process that they follow when they're getting ready to pitch. And when you're in the bullpen, you don't have that process because you don't know if you're coming out today, if you're coming out tomorrow, if you're coming out both days, if you're not going to come out for a couple days because you're not needed in a situation. So I that maybe that's part of it. Maybe it's something where he doesn't have his normal process and it's just kind of messing with him. Um, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Interesting, fun little fact about him. I didn't know this. Did you know he's from Champaign, Illinois, which is a famous town here in my home state of Illinois, home of the University of Illinois in Urbana-Champaign. I did not know that about Tanner Gordon.
I didn't either.
And I did not know that he also got drafted out of Indiana University in Bloomington. I didn't know that either. So that's a new fact I just learned. Um, I mean, he's only pitched 11 innings this year at the big league level. I don't know. I mean, last year he was in the 15 start appearances he had here last year. It was as a starter. I don't know. Maybe he's trying to adjust. Maybe again, new pitching coach. Maybe there's an adjustment he's trying to adapt to his approach and sequencing at the big league level. I don't know. Again, maybe it's just something he's just struggling with, whether it's a nagging injury or confidence level. I don't know. Something's up. I mean, it's not normal. He's got the stuff that plays at the big league level. So. Another thing I want to bring up, somebody who appeared in this game, Brennan Bernardino. Here's another guy who's really thriving for us out of the bullpen. In 12 and 2/3 innings pitch, he has a .71
0.71.
So
I saw that earlier today.
We got two relievers with a sub-1 ERA.
And Chase's ERA is down to 2.25.
Correct. So we have a sub-1 ERA reliever from the right and left side. We got a righty and a lefty with that. So that's good for us. Depending how you look at it. So, all right, let's move now. Game 2. This was much more of an entertaining one, and I mean that. And when I'm gonna say what I mean to that, Sugano 5 1/3 shutout innings, and then Bernardino, Mejia, Herget got the job done. We were a little better with going 7 for 14 with runners in scoring position, but Hunter Goodman, he provided the power. 2 home runs, his 8th and his 9th home run of the season. The 9th one, he hits at the second deck. So the power is starting to pick up a little bit more for him.
That ball got out so fast. That
Plus
ball
also
flew out of there.
Plus that first one was a little low. It kind of, I think it got to like the 5th, 6th, 7th, maybe 8th row out there in left field. So that one was low. But yeah, the second one, he got pretty much every little bit of that one. Oh, and also it's nice. Also, Brett Sullivan had 3 hits in this game as well, too. Oh, Hunter Goodman had 3 hits instead of Brett Sullivan.
Good to see.
I gotta, I don't know if it's maybe we'll talk about this in a minute. Let's just, there's 2 specific players I wanted to maybe talk about. We can have a little discussion about as well, but let's real quick go to game 3. Rockies lost this game 4-6. I mean, to your point, Lorenzen, not good, not bad. I mean, he was okay, 5 1/3, giving up 4 earned runs. And again, his record falls to 2-3 on the season. And this is another story. I mean, we're 3 for 7 with runners in scoring position. There was nothing special truly about this game. But I mean, to your point, I don't know, maybe again, consistency has been an issue for him. I don't know if it's maybe, I don't know. What's your take on that? Why don't you give your full take on that? Now we've talked about that he's had a good and a bad start that we've talked about.
Yeah, I'm not overwhelmed with what I've seen from him. I've seen some good stuff. I've seen some really not good stuff. The consistency, I don't know what he's trying to do because, I mean, he's been around for so long. He knows how each of his pitches works and plays in several different stadiums. He seems to be the one that is struggling the most with adapting to Coors Field, which I know this game was on the road, but he seems to be struggling there. Today, it was just, and you can tell on any given day, he knows which pitch is working for him. He knows which pitch is not working for him. And yet you'll still see him trying to throw those pitches that aren't working for him. And it's like, no, this is not the day for that one. What are you doing? Like, this is working really well. Stick with which he's got like what, 6 or 7 pitches? Feels like he has 800.
According to Baseball Savant, there's 7 or 8 listed for him, but I think anywhere between in the course of a season, he uses at least 5 different ones.
Yeah, I mean, you've still got, if you've got one pitch that's not working for you, you still have 4 more that you can go to. But it seems like he is just bound and determined that he's going to find a way to make that pitch work on that given day. And I've even seen Chase realize that he has something that's not working for him and he moves away from it for the day. That's something where he's able to compartmentalize that and say, okay, we're going to go with what's working right now, and we'll try to sneak a couple of these in here, but we're going to work on this and then we're going to come back with it at another time. But Lorenzen just seems like he is absolutely determined if a pitch is not working to find a way to make it work that day. And it's like,
Mhm.
that's where you're getting beat up, buddy. Like, leave that one alone for the day.
Mhm. Now I hear what you're saying because there are days where your changeup is working. There's days where it's not working, but your slider's working and your slider's not working. And above all, your fastball placement or your location with your fastball. There are days where you just can't spot it. It happens.
Hmm.
And I don't know. I haven't seen too much cause for alarm on this one, but do we want to? Yeah, I mean Ezekiel Tovar now has a 5.46 OPS this far through the season. Do we need to start sounding the alarm? What's your take on that? My take on it is I think he's a guy, of course, who throughout the course of his career is not as bad as Javi Baez, but you can somewhat slider him to death when it comes to
Hmm.
Tovar. But I don't know. Do we need to? I mean, he's been moved down to the bottom third of the lineup. I mean, I would like to get your opinion. What do you think is up with him?
Um, I would love to be able to tell you exactly what I think is up with Tovi, because it's really hard to watch.
Mhm.
But I will also say that in watching over this road trip, I have started to see a little more restraint, a little less swinging at absolutely everything, and a little bit more of that being more selective. He's starting to make a little bit better contact, and so I think whatever's going on, they are starting to get it worked out. Now it's a process. When you're in a funk like that, it takes a little while to completely all the way get all the way back right. And he is starting to get to that point.
Mhm.
It's gonna. I still think we've probably got another 2 to 3 weeks of Tovi on the struggle bus a little bit. But from what I've seen on the road trip, if he can continue to build on those positives that he has had, um, then I think here in a few weeks we're gonna get the old Tovi back.
I know that some people are freaking out about it. I mean, it's not exactly encouraging. Also, that Jordan Beck has a sub 0.5 OPS, but with Tovar, I don't know. I'm rooting for the guy. I just really wish I could see some kind of. I think all it takes for him is just one 3-hit game, and that all of a sudden you got a vote of confidence going.
Yeah, and that's what like when Jordan hit that home run. What was that? Who were we playing when he did that? I don't even know.
Was it the?
Anyway,
That was the. Go ahead. Yeah, sorry.
when he hit that home run, he got back into the dugout, and I think it was Spilly that was down there that night. He went over to him and he's like, "I really needed that," and
All
he did. And he's another one. Like, it's still not coming together completely, but I am starting to see a few more things that I like in his at bats. There for the first couple weeks when he was getting playing time, it was you just knew. You could tell his timing was off. He was swinging at garbage, which Jordan's always been a big swinger.
Oh yeah.
And it's been something where I've noticed he's starting to be a little bit more selective as well. So, I mean, it's just a matter of being patient and figuring it out. But in the meantime, you're eh, with the way some of these guys are playing, you're kind of running out of time to figure it out. You're losing your spots here. Even Doyle, like Doyle was somebody that you just knew was going to be in the lineup every day, and now he's not. Like, there's a lot of guys getting playing time over our dudes that came in from last year, and we just knew that those were our guys. And now you're seeing them get sat a little bit more, and it's like, this was not what I expected at all.
Well, I think the same thing goes for Paul DePodesta because to your point, with guys getting playing time. And we talked about this at the beginning of the season where there was kind of not an overflow, but four or five of an outfield rotation of 4 or 5 players, and
Mhm.
you're starting to see some guys pull away. Whether it's Moniak is pulling away, Beck is falling behind, McCarthy's kind of whittling in the weeds there in the middle. Doyle is, starting to create question marks. And then DePodesta and his staff are looking at these guys thinking, okay, you're getting the opportunities, but we need to know, is this what you're going to be going, regardless of what you've done in the past? Is this going to be what you are going forward? And then from that point on, they've shown they're not afraid to make hard decisions. They
Yeah.
are. This is different than it was under Bill Schmidt. And no offense, I think I've said this before, and we've talked about this. Bill Schmidt just seemed more of the okay, cool, nonchalant kind of
Yeah.
just go about everyday routine. That's not what this front office is doing now. They're not going to be afraid to either, whether it's tell Charlie and Dick, we got to eat some money here and get rid of this person, or cut our losses and move on. They're not going to be afraid to do that. And I think at some
Mhm.
point, if I can, I'm going to make it. I mean, I think at least by June, we're going to see some heavy roster changes. I think.
I think so too, and it's hard to see because it's guys that you were really hoping with this new coaching staff and everything, you would see those turnarounds and those improvements. And Doyle's situation last year was a little bit different than what Beck's situation was, but I've seen quite a bit of regression from Beck since last season. Even though he wasn't great, he was still up in our top 5 in home runs, and now he looks a little lost. Um, but he is still at a point where you could option him back down and see if you can't figure it out in AAA. And you got guys like Charlie Condon that could definitely take some outfield time. You also have Zach Veen, who is getting very hot at the plate in Albuquerque, who I would love to see get another shot. Um, you've got some guys down in AAA that are really, really raking,
I got
and
another one for
all
you.
of them got outfield time.
I got another one for you, Sterling Thompson.
Yeah.
In 20, I had to look this up because you mentioned Zach Veen. That's an option. Here's another one. Sterling Thompson in 26 games at Albuquerque, he is slashing 308, 438, 418. And he has, again, only 2 home runs, but that's not definitely his game of power. But
Hmm.
some guys are saying if the time comes, I'm ready, or I'd like my shot.
Hmm. And you
So
also have to look at how hot Cole Carrig has been in Albuquerque. He has been on fire. And you noticed it, you saw it in spring training. He was getting time at shortstop, he was getting time in the outfield. Charlie was getting time in the infield, Charlie was getting time in the outfield. If you've got that outfield, like we've got a crowded outfield, but if you've got guys that are really, really struggling and they've got those options, might not be a bad idea to let them go figure that out down there and call up some of these guys that are really tearing it up.
And to your point here about Cole Keurig, yeah, real fast. First, I'm going to highlight one thing for him. In 27 games, he sessioned 340, 398 with 466 slugging. And to your point about the positioning, because when he was drafted, Steve and I had this discussion. Where are they going to develop? Where's most of his minor league time going to be? Well, this season he has played 17 games, or played and started 17 games in center field and 8 games at shortstop. So again, both those positions have a lot of uncertainty
Mhm.
at this point.
Yeah, and I think if that's the one thing I can see happening that I hate because big Doyle fan, that glove is invaluable. But
Yeah.
if there's anybody who is trade material in the outfield right now, it's probably Brenton Doyle
Mm-hmm.
because his bat is, I mean, I think he's batting 215 right now. Is that right?
Let me check. Go ahead. I'll check real fast.
Yeah, I think he's batting 215 right now, and you've got that two-time Gold Glove winning defense, and he has still got that going for him. But 215 is something that maybe another team could figure out. And believe me, this is harder for me to say than anybody on the planet, probably.
Mhm.
Um, but that's a good trade candidate. And you've got Cole Carrick down here who is just absolutely lighting up the PCL, who is getting center field time.
It's
And
actually it's 220. It's 220 actually.
220 now? Okay.
Yeah, correct. He's up 220. But well, to your point, also he is under team control till 2030, so that's a plus. If you're gonna move him, that is a plus. So it gives that team who takes him time to revitalize him. He's from Warrenton, Virginia. So what if one of the Ohio teams decide to take him and he's close to home, or if the Nationals take him?
Mhm.
Again,
Now,
I'm just spitballing ideas here for
yeah,
Pete
and
Podesta to
this is
explore
not
here.
something I want to see happen, but just trying to be very realistic. That's somebody that has garnered interest from other teams for a couple years now.
I mean, I remember there was a lot of interest about him after 2024.
Mhm. Oh
I
yeah.
mean, again, people were talking again. It was him and Jackson Merrill that year were the top two young center fielders who are on the rise.
Mhm.
There was talks about him. We're not breaking news here all of a sudden. He has
Yeah.
been chalked in trade rumors for years, for at least 2 years.
Yeah, and there were a lot of rumors coming into the beginning of the season that especially when he started out hot in spring training, there were a lot of people saying, is he or would they move him? Is that something that's going to happen? There were teams that were asking about him.
Mhm.
And then they made it pretty clear that he was here to stay. But I mean, if there's a piece of the puzzle that you really feel you need to go out and find something for, he's probably the one they're gonna look to try to get something for, if just because there has been so much interest in him for the last couple of years. I do not want it to happen. I'm just say it right now. I do not want it to happen, but to be realistic, he's probably your prime trade candidate.
No, I don't disagree. You're not wrong. We don't want this. Let us be clear. We're not wanting this to happen, but
No.
sometimes as a front office member, you have to make tough decisions.
Yeah, and it would be one that would, and I think it would be really hard on the fan base because he is very well liked and he's a great leader.
Mhm.
And there's so much that he brings to that clubhouse. But eh, unless they can turn his bat around, that's probably because another team might think that they can. If he can't,
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
no, go ahead. I was
Oh,
about
no,
to
and a
just say
change,
kind of the same thing.
and then a change of scenery.
Hmm.
That's that is a good thing for a player. And one more thing I wanted to make sure to mention, people were getting a little uneasy about TJ Rumfield, but in the last 7 days, he has kind of turned a corner here. He's slashing 296, 406 on base, and 444 slugging. So he started to turn things around a bit.
Yeah,
So,
and he's a rookie. Pitchers figured him out,
mhm.
and now he's got to turn around and make those adjustments, and he's doing that. Like,
his
he's not
power
somebody
will
that I'm worried about at all.
his power will come back a little bit. And he hasn't hit a home run in the last week. But again, as you point out, for a young hitter, once they adjust their approach to what pitchers are adjusting to them, the power will come eventually because he's a strong guy.
Mhm. Oh, yeah.
So, that's one thing I want to make sure that we brought up. I know people were freaking out about him, but just relax for a little bit.
Yeah.
If he's meant to be if he's meant to be our everyday first baseman, things will work out just fine.
Mm.
And one more thing I wanted to bring up. So in our pre-show meeting, I wanted to look up a couple things. One of which was in the last 7 days, the Rockies are ranked ninth in team ERA. In the last 7 days, we have a 3.29 team ERA, which again ranks ninth in all of Major League Baseball. So, and again, largely due to some of our guys like we talked about, Senzatella, Bernardino, Chase Dollander. It's really, again, that is something to be happy about. Again, even though our last two series was a road trip, we were in New York, went to Cincinnati, and now we're back home to play the Braves and the Mets. We'll get to in just a second. But either way, it's encouraging.
Yeah,
So,
it's good to see it.
and then again, this is not, again, I know this is not, it is encouraging on the flip side. Away from Coors Field in the last 7 days, we have a 747 OPS, which ranks 15th in Major League Baseball. So We got stuff done on the road. And again, we scored 13 runs in game 2 against the Reds.
Hmm.
So again, I'm happy about that. It's like you said, when teams are floundering, take advantage of it.
Absolutely. You have to.
So, and anyway, so we're going to move on to our final segment of the episode, which is we have now a 6-game homestand, as Sarah just mentioned. She will be at one of the games, so we'll talk about it. It will be City Connect Friday, so remember that one. But yeah, we have a 3-game series with the Braves and a 3-game series with the floundering New York Mets. They will both be in town. So 2 NL East teams coming to town. Sarah, you're also our resident Braves fan person, so I will let you take this one away for the first series.
I There's a lot that I see here that the Rockies have some opportunities to do. Um, Last year, which the Braves are, it's the same players, but it's a completely different team from what went into Coors Field last year. And the Rockies took one of three. In fact, that was Chase Dolander, and that was a Chase Dolander and Chris Sale matchup that ended in a 2-1 score. Um, I saw a lot of good things last year when we were at this game. But this is also a very different Rockies team than what we had. Now, the one thing to keep in mind is the Atlanta Braves have not lost a series yet. So, um, as much as, and I mean, I would love looking at the matchups. I won't lie, Quintana's walks have been really high, and that
Mhm.
makes me nervous in Coors Field. Um, if he can get that under control tomorrow night, Grant Holmes is a great pitcher, but you can get to him. He's not as hard to get to as a Chris Sale. Um, Spencer Strider will be pitching the Sunday game. Let me
Mhm.
see who is pitching
It's Freeland.
Saturday.
No, Saturday it's TBD. Sunday it's Freeland.
Okay, so Freeland, I can see that.
Mhm.
I can see the Braves, or I can see the Rockies winning that game.
I think
That's
so
one I
too.
could definitely.
Because
So
this is Strider's first appearance of the season, right?
yeah,
There you go.
yeah. So this will be his first one. I can definitely see the Rockies coming away with Game 3. Now, with that, oh, and it's Chris Sale. With
Yeah,
that
Saturday.
TBD, um, this is the spot they've been putting Chase in after Quintana.
Yeah, that you. Yeah,
So,
maybe they just maybe. I hope there's nothing wrong with him. They're just waiting to see if he needs more rest or something.
I don't, well, maybe trying to decide who the opener will be, because they did say that him starting like he did is not something that's going to be. They are going to they're still going to go with that opener most of the time. But with
Oh,
Jimmy
got it.
Herget out on the paternity list, they didn't want to tax the bullpen too much, and
Mhm.
they thought Chase could handle that game, and he absolutely did.
Mhm.
So they are planning on going back to an opener for him. So I think the TBD is just who's going to open, and then we'll see Dolander versus Sale again, which now really has me thinking maybe I should get tickets for Saturday night too. Because that's a matchup that I want to see, because it's going to be a good one. That game is going to come down um, to just who can score first. Really, I think is because the last time they faced each other, that was a pitching duel all the way, and I think it'll be another one. So if the Rockies can get some action, maybe get a jump on Sale early,
Mhm.
I think with the way Chase is pitching this season, I definitely can see him keeping the Braves in check.
Mhm.
Now, you do also have a red hot Matt Olson coming into Coors Field.
Mhm.
And I am sorry, Rockies fans. I need him to hit one out tomorrow night. I don't want the Braves to win. I want to see a Matt Olson home run in person. So I don't care if that can be the only run the Braves score. I need it to happen. Um, Realistically, with the pitching matchups, this could be a series that the Rockies could take. But again, you also have to look at the Braves are red hot and have not lost a series. So this is going to flip flop one way or another. I don't see a
Mhm.
sweep in either direction happening, but it's really kind of hard just looking what your matchups are to make a really good guess on which way this is going to go, because you can get to Holmes. If you've got that pitching duel between Sale and Dolander, that that could turn out in our favor again.
Mhm.
And then Spencer Strider making his first start, I would almost say, yeah, we've got that Sunday game for sure. But those other two, there's a lot of ways the Rockies could win.
To your point about Matt Olson, in the last 7 games, he is slashing 407, 452, 741.
Yeah.
And he's swinging a hot bat. He's swinging not just a hot bat, he's swinging a scorching hot bat.
Yeah, he is. So, I mean, I think he's the guy you really got to watch out for. I mean, they have that lineup is deep, top to bottom. Michael Harris
Mhm.
has been really solid.
Mhm.
Especially Michael Harris came back from the paternity list with dad strength on overload. Like he's swinging a big one too. Ronald Acuna, that's the wild card in this. Ronald Acuna Jr. has been ice cold. You haven't seen hardly anything from him.
He's been okay in the last week or two. He's it's nothing special and it's nothing awful. It's not like he's hitting 150 in the last week. He's hitting 259 last week and 236 in the last
No.
2 weeks. So not to your point, not typical Ronald Acuna Jr.
Yeah, no. This is not what you expect from a healthy Ronald Acuna Jr. at all.
He
Um,
well,
and
real
the
quick,
first
real quick,
Mhm.
just to add to your point before I didn't mean to interrupt you. He only has 2 home runs in the last month.
I know, yeah, that's what I was just about to say. He has
So
only
sorry.
hit 2 home runs.
I mean, he's driving runs in ish, but yeah, that's the thing that jumps out at me. He only has 2 home runs.
Yeah, this is very uncharacteristic of him. Fastballs have been his absolute kryptonite this season so far. It sounds like he's figuring them out a little bit more. I tend to kind of flip back and forth between the Braves and Rockies games because for some reason it seems like they're always playing at the exact same time, even unless one is on the East Coast and one is on the West, and then it kind of levels out where I can watch them both. But
Well,
I've had to kind of flip back and forth a lot, and I haven't really seen what's happening with him at the plate. But in talking to other Braves fans, it's been fastballs. Everybody's like, he can't handle a fastball to save his life right now.
to your point, I'm looking at his baseball savant page. So real quick, let me pivot back to 2025 for a second. He had a 306 batting average against fastballs last season. This
Mhm.
season, only 213.
Yeah.
So there you go. Wow. That against breaking balls this year, he's batting 300 even. So this is shocking. This is very
Mhm.
shocking.
And I think the Rockies will definitely use that to their advantage. If you can neutralize Ronald Acuna Jr., you're dealing a big blow to the Atlanta Braves, even though Austin Riley has been a lot more solid than he has, but of course he's healthy right now. He's been
Mhm,
injury plagued the last couple seasons. Ozzy Albies has been very solid this season,
mhm.
and he's kind of the same boat. It seems like the last 2 years he's broken 2 or 3 bones every season. He gets one healed up, breaks another one. Drake Baldwin, of course, your rookie of the year last year. He's a pretty solid bat for them. So there's just a lot up and down the lineup that they can throw out at you. But and I will
Well,
since Walt Weiss tackled Jorge Soler,
mhm.
it's like that rallied that team behind him 100%. And
Um,
they are tough.
oh god, that was quite a brawl. That was quite a. I
Yeah.
mean, to me it wasn't as intense as other ones in the past, but that was the interesting one. Mhm.
Yeah.
And
It's
here's
fun. It's kind of fun to watch.
and to your point about Drake Baldwin, this will be the first time on Sunday that he's actually faced Kyle Freeland. He's never faced him before.
Okay. Oh, that's right.
And also,
Yeah.
yeah. So, and then to your point about power pitchers this weekend, we only have one of our power. Again, Dolander will not start. He will come after the opener, if you're saying. So
Mhm.
when he starts, if you go against Acuna, if I'm advising, if whoever's catching, just pepper him with fastballs
Oh
and see
yeah.
if he can. And but again, be careful because again, Coors Field, that ball can go a long way if he connects with it.
Mhm.
Here's some interesting stuff about Kyle Freeland with some of against some of the Braves lineup. Ozzy Albies has a career 1.125 OPS against him.
Whew.
That's and that's not even the highest. Austin Riley has a career. Hold on to this one. Austin Riley against Kyle Freeland has a career 364 batting average and an OPS of 1.455.
Yeah, like I said, this is
That
a
just
tough team.
well, I mean, not I'm not trying to down Kyle here, but if
Yeah.
you're on, just keep the ball down, keep it down.
And of course, we are seeing a lot of difference in Kyle this year too,
Oh yeah,
and so that could the the changes in this pitching staff, and in the bullpen. And we'll get to see our old friend Tyler Kinley, who has been a absolute stud for them
he's
since
turned
he got
around.
traded.
He's turned his career around.
Yeah, and so I just with the changes that this pitching staff has made, they have the potential to hold
Mhm.
these guys to a minimum. It's just a matter of will they do it or not? How will they
I mean,
execute?
to about Freeland, he has a season ERA of 3.48, so good. It's nice, especially for
Hmm.
a man of his age. I'm not saying he's old, but compared to a lot of power arms, I don't again, I'm not trying to be he's an elder statesman, quote unquote. Uh,
In
sorry,
baseball,
Kyle.
he is.
Yeah, correct. Kyle, please. I'm not trying to be mean to you if you hear this. I'm not trying. I'm just saying it. But you're having a great season, so keep it up. I mean, hey, if he lowers his ERA to below 3, he could be an all-star finally.
I hope so. It'd be good to see that happen for him.
I really it's a bummer that he wasn't again. I'm not saying he should have, but if he was an all-star in 21, that would have been awesome for him because again,
Hmm.
he's a Colorado kid. So
Yeah, and I think speaking of the All Stars, I think we legitimately have to have a conversation about the fact that multiple. It might not just be a team representative that's mandated to be there. There's a legitimate opportunity for multiple Rockies to get those votes this season.
I mean, to your point about that, earlier today, I was having a talk with one of my old colleagues who's a big White Sox fan like me. We were talking about they could have multiple All Stars, and now that you and I are
Mhm,
talking about this, it's true. There are several players on this team who will garner top 10, who will garner support. I promise. Again,
mhm.
we're not one of the more popular franchises, air quotes, but the voting doesn't just come down to that anymore. We have some guys who are going to be in that conversation, whether it's pitching or position players. There's going to be guys in the top 10. At least I think they should be.
Yeah, I mean, you could make an argument as well as Sugano has pitched. You can make an argument for him. You
Hmm.
can absolutely make an argument for Chase. You can make an argument for Senzatella.
Hmm.
Like those would be three pitchers right off the bat that I would be like, "Hey, are you going to tell me they're not playing like all stars right at this point?" Of course, we have to see how they're doing a little bit closer to
Hmm.
that time. But if they keep doing what they're doing, you've got three pitchers that absolutely could get there. And then if anybody could deny Troy Johnston a slot, like, come on.
At least a bench roll.
Troy Johnston absolutely is out here earning it
Hmm.
every single day. Mickey, you've got a strong argument for Mickey Moniak
Hmm.
to earn himself a spot. Even Julian is making a strong case for himself right now. He is thriving in that leadoff role. That's a name that I think will probably fly under the radar, though, just because he's not a power bat. He's just getting the job done.
Don't
But I
forget
mean, I
Hunter.
think you yeah, Hunter, of course, is absolutely should absolutely be in the conversation. So I mean, that's seven guys just right off the top of my head that I'm like, if they can keep doing what they're doing, if you ignore those guys when it comes to talking about the All-Star ballot, like you're ridiculous.
Hunter has a 891 OPS as we stand here right now.
Yeah,
So I don't know how that compares to other catchers, but he has to be at least in the top 3 with that.
you would think.
I think
Um,
so too. But I mean, real quick side comment. Then to your point, Saturday is going to be a must see with Sale versus Dolander later. But and again, I think we can definitely beat Strider. I think we can if he is not the Spencer Strider of old, we can beat him.
and he hasn't been for a couple years now. That's the thing, and that absolutely my heart breaks for the guy because man, he was so hot when he first came. Like when he first hit, he hit hard, and I mean, you could not touch that guy. And you've seen glimpses of it. The velocity is down a little bit.
Mhm.
Um, I don't know that it'll get back to exactly what it was, but maybe if he can stay healthy, there's a chance we'll see that happen. But
I mean,
I think we can keep him.
he was a 20 game winner in 2023.
Mhm.
And he pitched, well, again, I'm not saying only, forgive me for a second on that. He pitched 186 and two-third innings in 2023, and he had 281 strikeouts. He reaches
Mhm.
200 innings pitch, he's got 300 strikeouts like that.
Yeah.
Because that's two more ish, well, three ish starts. You know, I think he easily gets 300.
Yeah.
But I just, again, also maybe it's just me. I like the look, the soul patch combined with the mustache. It's not a bad look. Not a bad look for the guy.
I love Spencer Strider. I think he's got a great personality, and he's got a heck of an arm. It's just it hasn't been what it was since he had that surgery.
Well, plus also, even going back to 23, he just couldn't get it together in the playoffs. Maybe he just hit a wall and just kind of just couldn't. But I mean, yeah, we'll see how this goes. But pivoting back to the All Stars, we'll see how things go. I mean, it's 1 month, but there are going to be guys who I'm going to be voting for. And I try to vote for, I always vote for maybe not the guy who's doing the best at the position, but at least somebody who's top three in their respective position group.
Mhm.
I'll post my ballot vote, and if you want to call, it's just so people can validate that I practice what I preach. But yeah, I mean, the best players should play. That's how it should
Mhm.
be.
I decided that I was just gonna go full rebel, and because I thought it would be funny, and there was a little bit of a movement there for a while where people are like, "We should vote all the Rockies in."
Somebody did
And
do
I was
that
like,
with
"You know what? I filled out a couple ballots just for fun, just all Rockies
somebody
last
did
year."
do. I think somebody did do that either last year or 2 years ago. Somebody did that, or no, also in 21. I think several Rockies fans did the same thing and posted it on X.
Mhm. Yeah, I filled out I threw in a few ballots towards that cause. Of course we knew it wasn't going to go anywhere, but I threw in a few ballots towards that cause last year.
I just remembered that Omar Marquez is pitching tomorrow for the Padres against the White Sox. So I'm trying to see how that goes for him.
He's been struggling a little bit.
A little bit, yeah.
Don't like to see it, but as long as he's not playing the Rockies, then I don't mind it. But when he's
Hmm.
pitching against the Rockies, I'm like, okay, we want you to struggle today, but the rest of the time we want you to do really good. Sorry,
I guess
Herman.
I guess well the thing is like well, I mean he's not their ace. He's basically the fifth
Yeah,
starter, so he's not going to be looked on upon to really have consistent quality starts. So
yeah,
that pressure is at least off his shoulders.
true.
And anyway, just as we sit here right now, I think we'll just bring it up again. The Giants at this moment are still playing, I believe. So the Dodgers sit in first place at 20-11. The Padres are in second place at 19-11. The Diamondbacks are in third place at 16-14. So Nolan, you're not in first, you're not in last. So good for you. And then our Rockies are sitting at 14-18 in fourth place. And like I said, the Giants are 13-17 sitting in last place. My God, I feel like an idiot now because I had them finishing second in the division. They're making me look like a fool. I'm looking like an idiot
I
right
had
now.
him. I had him in fourth. The Diamondbacks are surprising me, but the Giants, I knew they were good. I told you guys the adjustment for Tony V was going to be a lot.
Yeah. Well, I guess I was more bullish on. I thought his pitching, the starting rotation he was going to have was going to be a little underrated with Logan Webb, Robbie Ray, who was
Mhm,
comeback player of the year last year. So
mhm.
I guess at least so far I've overestimated this stuff. But again, it's a gamble going with a college coach directly to the big leagues. So
Mhm.
long way to go, but I don't know. We'll see. I mean, like I
I
said,
I think if they've got the patience to give him a couple years, he'll be stellar. But I think it's going to take him a couple years to fully, because they've said he is not used to not having to run every single thing that's going on because an MLB coaching staff is so much bigger than a college coaching staff, and that it's taken a lot of Tony, sit down. This we got guys that do this.
plus when you're in college, you have several things going on, not just player management and roster management, but at the same time, you have recruiting, but and also when you come to the big
Mhm.
leagues, you also have to worry about dealing with the coaches in the minor leagues too. Not managing them, but just communicating with them as far as how certain prospects are doing.
Yeah.
Or of course, call up and send downs, who's fresh, who's not, that kind of thing.
Oh,
So,
the Giants lost to the Phillies.
so that means they are 13 and 18. And again, one more loss to making me look more like a fool for picking them to finish second.
That's
Dope.
okay. We all look pretty dumb for saying the Phillies were going to win the division.
That's true. I mean, my Mets prediction is also off. I had them finishing third, but they're of course in last, so I don't feel too bad about that one. But the fact that the Phillies have fallen from grace just completely throws me out of the water.
Yeah, I feel like a jerk for not having more faith in my Braves to pull this out, but I mean, it is
Well,
what
I
it
think
is. It's okay.
well again, the Astros are tied for last place with the Los Angeles Angels.
Yeah,
So
it's
I didn't
wild this season.
well, I if I remember correctly, I picked them finished third in the division. I don't have them making the playoffs. And again, it's not like the Angels are not surprising me. I'm happy that Mike Trout is still playing, has not gotten
Mhm.
hurt yet, and I hope it stays that way. But you know, it, again, like I said, the White Sox are in third place for now, so it's encouraging, and we still have a long way to go. This is a marathon, but a lot of interesting positions, a lot of interesting rankings so far, or standings so far. So,
Yeah.
mm,
N- Now, real quick, I think I know what we're both going to predict for this because we haven't
sure,
touched on it yet. What
sure.
do we think about the Mets coming to town? What's going to
Oh,
happen there?
right. Um,
Brooms.
I would. Well, I will use the phrase used from the Karate Kid: "No mercy, no mercy, no mercy."
I think we're breaking out the brooms at Coors Field on that one.
Well, the Mets in their last 10 games are 3-7. They're currently still on a 2-game losing streak, even though they won to break the old losing streak. So if they come in on a 5-game losing streak after this weekend on Monday, just no mercy. Kick them while they're down.
Mhm.
I don't just, I mean, hey, I mean, there's a chance if Carlos Mendoza has a bad weekend, he might not even make the trip out to Colorado.
We'll see.
I
You
don't
know
know.
what? I say let him make the trip. Come on out, Carlos. Have a good time. Enjoy Denver. And as soon as they're done there, see you later.
Let me see. Let me see if they. Let me just check it. Yeah, they're in Los Angeles before they come to play us, and then after playing us, they. Oh, whoops, wrong month. Hold on, just a minute. After they finish the road trip, they come to LA. Then they come with us. Then they go on the road to Arizona. So they have a 9-game road trip starting this weekend. So when they maybe again maybe they're going to give him the full road trip. I don't see David Stearns firing him on the road. Maybe once
Mm.
if he doesn't have a good road trip and he comes back home on the 11th where they have the Tigers waiting for them on the 12th, I think he's gone.
You've got to. I mean, you can't. The Phillies had a 10-game losing streak and canned Rob Thompson. How do you still have? I think they're 3-17 this month, the
Mhm.
Mets. How does he still have his job? That's wild to me.
Maybe he's a good you know what kisser.
You gotta be top tier to still have your job after that.
Maybe he's really good at being a professional brown nose. I don't know what else to tell you. But real quick, I'm gonna check. Let me see if I can. Trying to check here. Yeah, you're right. I just want to double check the record. I don't know. Maybe again, David Stearns. If you're David Stearns, you're thinking, do you want to get fired? Or do you want the manager to get fired? It's your pick.
Hmm.
Because let's face it, David Stearns is the one who put the team together. So a lot of the blame is on the general manager, but the one that first gets scapegoated is the manager
Oh, it's always the manager first.
because you can't fire the roster.
Hmm. And usually, what you see is, and I mean, we saw it happen here last season.
Mm.
The manager's the first to go. If you don't see some kind of turnaround with the interim, then you start looking at the front office. But I mean, Boston just went in and said, all of you get out. But if they can't turn it around, how can you possibly? What is their GM's name? Why am I not thinking of it right now?
For
I've
the
seen
Mets,
it 8 million times
for the Mets.
for the Red Sox.
Oh, Chris Craig Breslow.
Craig Breslow, yeah, I was gonna say I've seen his name 8 million times this week. Why can't I think of it? I don't know how you can't. I don't know how he's not gone after this season if somebody doesn't turn this around.
There's several owners in baseball who are lenient, and there's several who are not lenient. John Henry and Tom Warner are not
John,
two of them. Henry is not one of those guys. He doesn't speak to the media. I think maybe in the last decade, I think I've seen him speak to the media one time. I mean, the last time I remember seeing him on camera during anything was during the win over the Dodgers in 2018. He was in the scout seats with Tom Warner behind home plate. Again, the last time I remember him speaking publicly or in some media format was on the documentary of The Comeback on Netflix. I haven't seen him give an interview in the last several years. But John Henry is not the kind of guy you want to produce bad results. He will fire you. And I forgot that the Carlos Mendoza hired a new bench coach this offseason because it's Kai Correa. I thought it was John Gibbons, from the old Blue Jays manager, but I guess he was not retained. So again, I don't know. I don't know. I'm not the one making the decision, so I'm just the one giving my opinions. Actually, you and I are just giving our opinions. We're not paid to make these decisions.
Yeah, and I don't even mind. Like, I can very easily see this or this next 6 games being another very easily 4-2, maybe even 5-1. That's gonna be real hard to do with that Atlanta offense, but if Quintana can keep the walks down, it can be done.
We can win the series against the Braves. I don't see us getting swept by them again. Knock on wood there.
Right.
But I to the point about the Mets, if we sweep them again, and if I was David Stearns, I'd fire Carlos Mendoza right there.
Oh yeah,
I'd fire him. Hell, I'd even take the trip to meet them in Arizona where they were going after they play us, and I'd just tell them to go home. I'd say I
will have somebody else handle this.
I would ask, hey Steve, call Steve Cohen. Hey Steve, can I borrow your private plane to make a trip real quick? Go out to Arizona. He said, oh yeah, go ahead. And then I make the trip, and then I meet him at the hotel and say, sorry man, you relieved of your duties.
They'll have to do. I mean, they can't let that keep going on for much longer.
Given the payroll, especially, come on. I don't care if Juan Soto's been hurt. I don't care if Lindor's hurt. Don't care, and I don't even care that now.
Luis Robert just went on the IL.
I was just about to say, as Luis Robert goes in the IL, there's no excuse. This, no.
I would
agree.
But
again, as a White Sox fan, I'm sorry, Mets fans. Welcome to my world. I've been dealing with this for the past 7 years.
I have a friend that's a Mets fan, and he was like, I have never been more miserable in my life. And I was like, welcome to being both a 2025 Braves and Rockies fan. Hi.
Welcome to what it's like being a 2024 White Sox fan.
Oh.
Except it couldn't get any worse because after the first 25 games of that season, they were 3-22. And then, of course, at the end, we were 41-121.
I'm so glad the Rockies. I'm sorry, but I'm so glad the Rockies edged that out.
It's okay. It's okay. I'm over it. It's fine. I was okay with them not going past that, because if two teams go past that in a span of 2 years, there's something wrong with the game. With the status of the game, if that happens 2 years in a row,
it got pretty close.
Well, we were able to breathe. We can return our heartbeats to the normal level, and we can all breathe normally. So anyway, so as we wrap this up, as I said, we got the Braves coming to town, then we have the Mets coming to town before we head back on the road Sarah, Sarah, she's going to the game tomorrow. So if you're there, I'm sure you may run into her or not. So
Be in section 119. Come
there you
say hello.
go.
I will be in neutral clothing because last year I wore a Rockies jersey and a Braves hat. And the one nice Braves fan I met, he was like, I don't know what to think about that. And I was like, well, the jersey it's I know it's friend. It's a friend. So that's why I'm wearing it. But the hat, I mean, I was like, I grew up on TBS, and he was like, okay, I get it. You're fine. He was a cool guy, super cool guy. But it's just too confusing for me to decide whether I want to which hat I want to wear versus which jersey. So I will be in neutral clothing, but
Mhm.
I'll be in section 119. Come say hi. I'm gonna try to keep my kids from wanting to get up and run around a whole lot during this one because this is gonna be a good game.
Could be, especially if Quintana limits the walks.
Hmm.
Okay, well, that being said, everyone, I think that's going to do with it for for this episode of the Rockies Now podcast. If you're not subscribed and follow us, please do on social media, Instagram, X, Threads, and be sure you click the subscribe button on YouTube for more Rockies content coming your way. With that being said, everybody, have a great weekend, and of course, go Rockies.